Well, good evening, as usual. I want to start by thanking you guys for watching us on the iHealth Radio and listening in on the listening on iHealth Radio and watching the iHealth channel. This is your host, Hurricane H, and before we get started with today's topic, I want to cover a particular uh, I might have a little bit of a visual effect here that I'm trying to resolve, so just bear with me for a second here. Um, I think just the settings are kind of off. That should be better. All right, so um, again, let me do it again. Good evening. This is Hurricane H, and you're watching the iHealth channel, listening on iHealth Radio. Um, Thank you for watching and tuning in. Just before I get started with the main topic of the show today, I want to cover, I want to actually send my thanks to all the frontline workers. Again, we still have not, cleared from the actual COVID and the pandemic and the lockdown and everything. So we're still actually in the same position, well, better position hopefully at this point. But again, thank you everyone that's been out there, day in day out to help us and save lives and kind of get us through this whole unprecedented event and tragedy for what it is. And so that being said, what I want to go about now is our topic of the hour, and today's talk show is a little different from the previous one. So this is a Hurricane H talk show, so it's a special. It's not related to much of the other stuff, but it is an inspiration, or at least a message type of talk show that I want to just to send. And one of the reasons actually I wanted to cover this is because I was at a particular meeting, and there was discussions about success. And one of the questions was like, well, how do you define success? And I know that in a previous talk show, I had covered a little bit about success, and the actual topic at the point was, the quote was, some people dream of success, others wake up and, work at it. And but when the question, was given, I had a little pause and I had to actually reflect on a few things. And one of the things I had to kind of contemplate is, why is it that we always, attribute success to ourselves? And, is that really true? And when you think about it, right, is it really true that the success that we've experienced in personal life and work, if there is a success, again, anyone can define success themselves as, as how they see it fit. But if you feel that you have been successful in whatever you're doing, you might want to consider, just sitting back and listening to yourself and maybe contemplating, like, how did I succeed at whatever I actually set myself to go after? And you will see that we don't actually always look at it from a broader side. What we do is I got this, I earned this, I worked hard for it, and that's where I am. But sometimes we fail to acknowledge that without contributors, to our success, we might not be whatever we are today. So it doesn't matter what level you are. Are you in the beginning of your career path, that's on the professional side, or you're at the end of your career path and you're ready to retire, or if you're still a younger person that is just going through school and having aspirations and ambitions and want to be somewhere in the next few years, and you have some sort of a target and goal in life. So if you are either way, maybe it is an opportunity to actually just consider looking at what would impact your life and what would have impacted your life, who kind of contributed to your milestones, and without them you might not be whatever you need to be today or you are today. And so the first thing, obviously, we doesn't matter what fate we are, we always believe that God is there for us, and and without Him so we thank always God for giving us the opportunities that come our way. And also we would like to always think about our parents as being there for us, because they're the ones who actually gave us the first, they held our hands and got us and guided us towards, education and other things, and we're always there for us, in the beginning of our paths to give us that nice momentum and, catapult us into the next level. And so, but beyond them, there are so many other things, and it's not our intelligence, it's not our person. Those are factors that we develop, and those are things obviously that are important. If you don't have them, there is no path, there is no success, maybe a struggle, whatever. But, and again, in education, in profession, in life, there are people that come your way and that actually help you get to where you need to get. And so that being said, you have the ones, the folks that actually, come your path in the beginning of your life. So teachers, instructors, you're talking about elementary through college, your professors, and they have all influence. They have also the entourage. You have your childhood friends, you have your parents' friends, your environment where you're raised, your community, your society. And then those are all, things and people, that are actually in your path around you that kind of shape you, shape your knowledge, shape your talent, shape everything. And then you, as a person, you develop into who you are and go to the next level. But, without people coming your way, coming in your path, in the line, of your, path where you're heading, you might not have the same chances that you have today, or, it could have been a different path. Let me explain. So there are many players out there that play baseball, football, basketball, a lot of talent, young talent, very, very, very good at what they do. They're actually the best, probably, but they have not been discovered technically. They have not been, recruited, and they might be somewhere where no one's ever going to be able to look at them or see them. Many towns, many small areas around the world that have great people, and we've seen it happen. A lot of superstars today, whether in the acting, the music, the sports, they actually are, out there. Yet, no one knows about them. And we know also what no one knew about them until eventually someone gave them a shot. And then you have people today the same way. They have been out there, they're still out there, and may or may not be, discovered or given a good opportunity. Now, when we set for whatever goals, of course, we have to be ambitious, we have to have aspirations, we have to set targets and goals in personal and business, and we go after them. But what happens is that as you do these things, and of course, your intelligence, your education, your personal upbringing, all those things are contributors. Your own talent, your own personality is there for you. But we always, give credit to ourselves, and we fail to give credit to the others. And today, again, I wanted to make this very special, and I wanted to actually give this as a recognition, talk show for anyone that contributed to your success in person or in your personal life or in your professional life. And, and again, like I said, I had a little moment, especially with everything going on, and you see, a lot of crazy, and you can see that the world almost ended, in a way that, was different from what was, it's not the end of the world, obviously, but it almost felt like it because, a lot of things that we were taking for granted have kind of changed for us. And as you would see all that stuff, you would think about it. So I sat down and and I do some of this reflection every now and then, and just kind of try to evaluate my own self, my own connections with people, with myself, with everybody, and always kind of try to adapt and adjust things and kind of tweak and see where I am I doing the right thing, am I not doing the right thing, and so on and so forth. And any step of the way, you want to sit back and reflect and kind of reset, right? And so as I was thinking about all this, one of the things that came out to my mind is well, there are two words that we fail to actually, state a lot, and especially when it comes to the people that had a direct impact in our life. And those two words are simply thank you. And again, why, do I want to talk about this? Because I kind of thought about it, and I'm like, well, as talented as I think, I might think myself be as talented and intelligent as we all think that we are, as good as we are at what we do, there has been moments in life without certain individuals that came your way, and they're the ones who actually give us that opportunity, the next shot, that opportunity to actually go to the next level. And it's almost like events are set in motion, and there is no coincidence. So I don't believe in coincidence. So these things happen one after the other, one after the other, one after the other, and one leads to the other. Without the first one, the second doesn't happen because you would have never, you would have missed that opportunity. It's like timing. If you were literally just waited one more minute, one more second, you would meet maybe someone that you actually will value for the rest of the life. And we know these stories in terms of love and families and wedding and marriages and relationships. Things happen. We meet here, we meet there. But the fact of the matter, in personal or life, if you did not have certain people in your life, you would not succeed. And again, success is a big topic. I mean, we can talk about it, in a lot of ways, and everybody evaluates themselves into what level of success they think. And again, some people think they're successful. Some other may say, well, that's not success in my book. It doesn't matter. What matters is how you see yourself, and what is the level of success that you set for yourself. Well, that's your definition, right? You set a goal, you achieve it. That's success for you. Maybe in a different level, somebody else, that's not real success. That's just a basic step 1 or step 2. But some people, that could be the greatest thing that they've achieved in their life, and that's okay, because everybody's got their own pace and everybody's going to do it at their own level, and that's great to always acknowledge when you have to focus yourself. Now, for example, when you start your career path, there are people that actually see you, and sometimes they may give you an opportunity. Sometimes people may not give you an opportunity. Sometimes you start in a career path and you're just in the same position for a long time because no one is giving you that next step or next opportunity. That's just one example. And you can be great, you can know your stuff, but that doesn't mean that you will get to the next level. And so every step of your way in your career, if you start reflecting and you start thinking, reviewing the whole kind of, your life's, span from the minute you started your work in the world, besides your elementary and education pieces through your college, beyond that, when you started your work and professional life, there were people that first of all give you the first opportunity to get in. And sometimes events trickle to get you the guidance and to get you to where you are. I'll give you a personal experience. When I moved from Disney up to New York, I've met, a person in New York that worked with me in Disney who were moving back to Florida. And then because they moved to Florida, I took their apartment in Brooklyn. When I went to Brooklyn, I started going to this gym. I went to this gym, I met, a person there that actually had something in common with me. We did martial arts, he did martial arts, so we started training together. And only to find out that he was in the insurance world. And guess what? That's how I got myself into the insurance world. He asked me to join, the company. I said, okay, I love the concept. I went to an interview. The person that interviewed me, and I want to thank both of them, him, Sam, and her, Pilar, she gave me the first shot. She gave me the entry point. That's one of the main things that we have to reflect on. Who gave you that first door? Who opened the door, held your hand, pulled you in, and gave you the access point? Sometimes that's like, well, I earned that. Well, yes, but guess what? You know how many people interview? And chances are they may not just, you actually, when you interview, there's a lot of people that interview at the same time. Doesn't mean that they all get the job, and especially if there's only one position. So at the end of the day, someone with your talent, and there are many people that are just equally talented. So it could be just the way you present yourself, could be other things. But the fact of the matter is, they saw something in you, they give you the opportunity. And they opened the door and they got you in. That's a thank you right there. Because again, without that first shot, you wouldn't be anywhere. You wouldn't even be in the mix. You would not be in the game. All right? So that's the first thing. So one thing leads to the other. Now, that same manager left to a different company. I go to this company with her because she took me there. That gave me access to a different, level of insurance sales. I learned that. Then, before I left there, I had a director that actually we had a good conversation. We had a good time, but, there was no opportunity for me to grow within the company that I was there first. Ultimately, when the opportunity came in, we had a conversation. He called me back and I had the job. So again, Dominic, thank you for you being there for me, and you're also being a mentor at the time and give me the guidance. And that's something that I wanted to always say. Yeah, and I've always believed in it. So again, thank you from this platform. And I'm gonna name some names, but I do want to state this for the record. There are so many people that have been contributors to my life, and there's just so many of them to actually name everyone. I'm gonna name some of them, and for those of you that I don't name personally from this platform, you know who you are. Thank you for everything. And I'm not just talking about the people that just gave me a home in hand and took me to the next level, but also the people that helped me, go from A to B to C and push me up. And namely, my teams and the people that I work with as partners, colleagues, peers, or teammates. Because again, if you're an individual is one thing, but if you have actually a team that you're in charge of, know that your success is not yours. The success is usually your team's, success, and your team is the one that actually make you who you are. Without them, if they fail, you fail. And we've talked about leadership before, and that's really an important message. people think like, well, I got this, I'm the lead, I'm the boss. No, you're not, because they can fail you, they can boycott you, they can sabotage you, and they may not just, see value in you and not even support you. So their support, being there for you and working and pushing you and helping you and guiding you also, and having the ability to take feedback from them and things like that. So anyone in my teams, in the last, 20 plus years, 26 years, literally, thank you. So, I mean, there's so many of you. I mean, I'm going to name some, throughout this particular show. But really, everyone, you know who you are. If I work with you as you are my hierarchy and I report it to you, thank you. If you work with me and under me and then my command, under my leadership in any of those companies that I've worked with, I want to thank you, because without you, I wouldn't have been able to be where I was and learn and grow and motivate myself to go to the next level, because you are the motivation and you were the ones behind the success, at least the way I define it. And if you were my peers, without you, as a unit, I would not succeed unless everybody else, all the partners within the actual companies, were there for you and work with you and believe in your style. You believed in your I guess vision and your work ethics and your push and all that stuff. So again, it's a lot of factors that and a lot of contributors to the success. So those are some of the things. Now again, so you notice that from I got the position I wanted. Dominic gave me the opportunity. Ultimately, I grew up into that role, and later on I moved to other places. And as I moved to other places, other people came into the play and were able to give me the shot again and again and again. That's the other thing. You will think sometimes, you get a shot once and that's it. There's going to be a lot of opportunities out there. You never give up, and just because one thing ends, other things will come up. As long as you keep right and you keep true to yourself and you do the best, for you, to yourself, to your family, to your colleagues, to the environment, to everybody that's actually that you come across. A lot of people have influence on ourselves and in who we are and how we do and where we are and you give and take. And believe me, people support you, by words, people support you physically, and sometimes that's important because your mental state is important. And the more you get encouragements, and encouragements don't necessarily come from someone that is in a higher, level, that's great because that helps you, you get motivated. But really, your teams, your colleagues, your peers sometimes encouraging you, your friends encouraging you. That's the other thing, your best friends. I mean, every one of us has certain individuals in their life that are so close and so dear, from family members to best friends and people that you've grown with, the people in neighborhoods. They were all your influences. They were all there for you at any stage of your life. Again, I want to thank a lot of those folks, Dr. Khalid, Dr. Nassif, these are, people that I grew up with, and they're my best friends. I want to, specifically send a thank you to my partner and friend and, best friend, Mazen, who actually not only was my competition, we were also, best friends, good team, partners. And at a certain point, he was even my boss. And, he gave me an opportunity also in a company. And then I met other folks in that company, Sarah, Chris, Brian, Henry, so I've met a lot of people, and all these folks have contributed. But I do want, those are the folks that gave me the opportunity as a role, or at least an opportunity for growth, an opportunity to actually lead teams. But then there were other folks that were there, in the teams, so the management team, the actual field staff, the agents that work, and the, our division, the people that work with us, from the train to special events to the fleets, that we used to manage. So all these folks, people from different departments that actually contribute and work with you directly, from compliance to HR, to network development, depending on your in your type of industry. Who the people are that contribute to and work with you and assist you in your success. But again, the main focus today is thank you. So thank you everyone, and I mean everyone that actually had some small part or a large part in your success and your growth and your career path, in your professional life, in your personal life. And again, you continuously meet people that will continuously help you. Now again, sometimes we do forget to actually acknowledge the folks, because we always think like, well, I did this. I worked hard. I put a lot of hours. It's all my intelligence, my smartness, whatever. All that stuff is great. But really, again, if someone does not give you the opening to the door, give you that position where you can actually express your talent, where you can show and showcase your talent. Guess what? Your talent is a nice raw talent that is not being displayed to anyone to acknowledge it. So that's where it's very important to actually sit back and reflect and say, well, I want to make sure that the folks, that actually had some sort of, a little bit of spec, somewhat at any level actually, from small to large, extra large, whatever, you still want to thank them. And it doesn't take much. What I'm doing right now in this particular show, I'm highlighting, everyone that ever been in my life that had some sort of a contribution from, small to large at any level, from the highest, authority in any company I worked for to the lowest authority in any other company I worked for. To me, it doesn't matter. They all are good and equal contributors to my success and my personal career path and growth, in both in professional and in personal. And believe it or not, a lot of things we learn from each other, contribute to you and add to your knowledge base. They add to your personality. And, you don't know everything. We don't know everything. You're always learning. And that's the other thing. Knowledge is something that you keep with, at all times. You don't say that I got enough. There's never enough knowledge for any one of us. We will go probably through our whole life and still don't know much, because we won't know enough, but not enough to actually be the most knowledgeable people. And so, and anyone that comes across our paths, and in our paths, will actually have some sort of a knowledge that we'll absorb from. Now, that's willingly, of course, if we're willing to take it, yes, but sometimes people don't, see that as value. I see it personally as value, and I'm saying to everyone that's watching this particular show, take a minute. It doesn't hurt. I'm not suffering right now by making this statement, and again, anyone that can watch this, that will watch this, whether I know you or not, you will know that you will meet people that will actually be the folks that will make you and take you from one level to the other in life. And sometimes it can be a bad thing too. You might come across somebody that may not contribute, in a positive way. But you know what? Life sometimes throws us a little bit curveballs, and we're gonna deal with them and we're gonna adjust to them. But the idea is, if we surround ourselves and stay the path, stay the course, stay focused, don't get involved in anything that is shady, wrong, whatever, and you will probably always have people that are there. Now, sometimes success does trigger some jealousy, some envy, whatever. Don't get into the negative. Don't feed into the negative. Feed into the positive. Stay positive. Always be positive. Keep the positiveness, because there is nothing else that is more important to you than that. It will keep you motivated. It will keep you, in the right path. It will keep you on your momentum, and you will continue straight forward. Set your goals. Reset your goals. Keep there, and people will come in your path, and you'll always have to, acknowledge who they are. And their contribution, to yours. And believe me, even if someone came to your life with some sort of a negative thing, you've learned from them. Therefore, they still are contributing, because sometimes the mistake or the things that we learn that are bad, that happen to you that are bad and you learn from, well, they were actually triggers to develop something in you. So in a way, you look at the positive, you still learn from them. So thank them as well. Not only they actually, they did something bad, but because they did that bad, you were able to learn something positive and valuable, and it got you to the next level. Now you know not to do that, or you know how to avoid it and to deal with that situation if it ever comes back again. So at the end of the day, you always win. But it's all about how you set your mind. It's all about how you focus your energy. It's all about how you set your world around you. If you see it a certain way, it will have a certain impact. If you see it a different way, it will have. So if you set the positive, you focus on stuff, you keep the energy, you acknowledge the people that are there for you. And you know what? Sometimes that, if I hear thank you, it makes me feel good. We all love someone to say thank you. And, sometimes we see it sarcastically, someone does something, it's like, oh, you're welcome, right? Well, because we always expect the thank you. But unfortunately, we don't hear enough of it, especially not when it comes to your work and stuff. Now, if you're in a leader position or leadership position, one of the key elements of being a leader is to acknowledge your teams all the time. Thank them, give them a tap on the shoulder. Whatever you need to do, you always thank them for the good work. And if they do something wrong, you work with them. And yes, sometimes, we're not all perfect. We're all going to make mistakes. And, it is part of leadership to do that. So again, thanking, should be part of our life. Thanking anyone that is in our life should be part of our daily routine, weekly routine, monthly routine. Anyway you are, thank you. It's an easy 2 words. They don't hurt. Very easy to come up, and they go a long way. And again, as they say, you can get better with honey than you can get with vinegar. So that's honey. Thank you. It's actually a sweet honey that comes out of our mouth, and it's positive. People actually take it, in what it is. And even if sometimes, and some people may say thank you just to words. Try to mean it. Make sure that actually it's genuine. People will read right to it if it's not. You have to thank people not in a sarcastic way. You thank them for anything that they do. And you know what? You should, because a small thing may be something that you picked up from one person. And without someone in your life, you might not have succeeded. So again, many people contributions. Ada, Salma is a good partner. One of my latest, and greatest, mentors. Are Barry and Jenny. And you know what? That's one more thing. So we've always seen this in movies, The Godfather, The Rabbi. Well, you need someone actually, that's gonna mold you, take you under their wing. And same thing. And that's the other thing. As you go up the ladder, if you're in a leadership position, a profession, in any profession, make sure you do the same thing. Don't always forget where you started. You have to remember that just as somebody gave us the opportunity, we should give others the opportunity. So therefore, you see talent, you see someone that has some stuff, mold them, mentor them, guide them, help them, put them into your shoes, take them under your wing, make them the next you, or better than you. It's okay. It doesn't hurt you. It doesn't take away from you. Actually, if anything, it makes you a better person. It makes you a better, individual. And that's actually, there's a good satisfaction for that. So again, don't hold, or even if you had difficulty in life sometimes and you had less people helping you. But you know what? From that same experience, you would have wished to have someone help you and hold your hands. Well, guess what? Do the same thing. Now, you know what? And if you see someone struggling, don't let them struggle. It's like, well, I didn't get any shot. Nobody, did anything for me. Why should I do it for others? Maybe that is the example here. If you feel that way and you see someone struggling, maybe they're the ones that you need to hold hands, and maybe that will be the satisfaction you need. Either way, do the right thing, help people, and thank people. And those are good things to do. So again, recognizing the folks that actually have contributed to your success is a positive thing. It's a good energy. It feels good. And, hopefully, if you see this or watch this, and if you're listening right now on the radio, please, for what it's take, listen to it, review it, see if there's any value to it. You might agree, might not disagree. I hope that you agree that, there are people as little as they are, or as many as they are, as a few as they are, as many as they are, you take the time. You can make a phone call. You can just send them a thank you. You can send them a card. Hey, thank you for all stuff. Or you can invite them in a coffee place when we reopen the world. But the idea is do whatever it takes. Whatever you want to, your beverage of choice would be. Again, it's a simple, gesture. But it's really a good time to and, sometimes you want to pause and reevaluate yourselves. That's the other thing. I do recall about a couple of years back, I personally went on LinkedIn, and I put almost like a poll. If you ever work with me, partner with me, report to me, or I report to you, give me a little bit of an evaluation from 1 to 10. What's my rating will be. And it's not, it's like I'm always seeking, an actual, point score there, like a score system there. But I wanted to see, like, if I did something wrong. It's like you almost have to reset and evaluate, am I doing good? What am I doing? That's a personal thing. Now, again, if you're watching this, if you're listening to this, if it's not your practice, it's nothing wrong with it. You might want to adopt this kind of tactic, and it's a personal development tactic, but everybody should always look at themselves as well, because especially if you're in a leadership role and you want to take other people and hold their hand and take them to the next level, well, how can you do that if you can't do it for yourself? You can't even, evaluate yourself and take some criticism if you have to. It's okay. Positive criticism is nothing wrong with. And again, you have to adjust and always ask the questions. How am I doing? How am I doing? How am I doing? That's the same question. Am I doing this right? Am I doing this wrong? Sit back, reflect. Sit back, reflect. Your day goes by. Sometimes I do presentations, and this is personally, literally something I do all the time. I know when I did a great presentation. I know when I do a bad presentation. Like, for example, we started the show. I had a little bit of, the camera was not adjusted well, so my head was cut off. That kind of threw me off for a minute. But you know what? I adjusted. I'm live, but it's okay, because you know what? Things happen. You adjust, you adapt. It's okay. The message, I'm not gonna derail because of that. We're in the show. That's good. But I know my message is something that I wanted to deliver, and we're gonna deliver it while I'm doing this. And hopefully it will get to the hearts, it get to the minds, and someone can see value. And again, if one person takes, something from this particular show right now, and adopts it, or adopts it and adapts to it, and really shares it or practices it in their own life, that would be great. But like I said, I want to thank everyone. So if I have not mentioned your names, I mean, all my teams, anyone that has ever worked with me, reported to me, worked, as a partner in a different department or not, thank you for all the work, for your friendship, for being there for me, for support, good and bad, whatever the case may be. Even if we've challenged each other, we haven't seen eye to eye, but I still want to thank you, because you make me who I am. You make my strength. You actually give me the actual fuel to rebuild myself and readjust as I go and reevaluate, all the things I do. And sometimes it's positive. Sometimes things that happen and the people that come across, even if they don't contribute to you because somehow you don't see eye to eye and maybe you're part, from one company to the other, maybe they were the trigger for you to actually seek something else and go and create something even bigger. Every single opportunity is a positive opportunity, as long as you want to look at it that way. And if you choose the negative, if you choose to see the negative, that's exactly what you're going to see. It's really what we extract from things and how we turn. It's a frame of mind. It's a set thing that we have to actually get adjusted to. And whatever we want to do, we can make that happen. It's on us to do that. Now, I will not be any further longer, on this particular topic. So again, just to wrap it up, thank you. 2 words. They are actually gold and emeralds. They are diamonds. They are actually, all the wealth of the world may not be probably, equal to those 2 words in at least in the spirit. Okay. Ultimately, gold is important. Money is important. I'm not saying that is not valuable, but this is valuable in interactions, in human interactions. It's important for us as individuals to be able to recognize. We all like to be recognized. And sometimes you don't get to hear it from other people, but really, just because I'm not hearing from other people, why not? Let me tell other people that I thank you. So I thank everyone that's, like I said, my family, my parents, God, of course, the first one, my friends, my best friends, my coworkers, my colleagues, my peers, my teams, anyone, my hierarchies, my superiors at work, the people I report to, anyone that's ever contributed to my knowledge, education-wise, in the personal, mentorship, my trainings, anything. Everyone that has interacted with me in life, I'm thanking from this platform. And I hope that maybe, if you watch it, if you listen to it, you will take that as a practice and use it in your life. And you probably will get an excellent satisfaction out of it. So that being said, I want to thank you for at least, maybe listening and watching this. And, we will have additional shows coming soon, different topics, going back to the senior, health. We're going back to the broker live. And so on and so forth. So there will be some cool stuff coming on very soon. Again, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And thank you, frontliners, as usual. Keep up the good work, the great work. Thank you. And again, thank you. It doesn't take much. So recognizing the people in our entourage, the people in our lives, it's a beautiful thing. If you choose to see it that way, if you choose not to, there's nothing wrong about it, but hey, everybody's entitled to their opinion. Like I said, thank you. And until the next show, this is Hurricane H, and we will be talking to you guys very soon. Thank you, bye.